Once upon a time, there was a young but poor man. And he was so poor that he couldn't do anything except grab an axe and chop, 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 chop those trees down for firewood. And you know what happens when people do, especially men, they chop, 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 and then they grab those logs and then they haul them back. You know what happens to their body? He may not have had much of this, but what he did have is this. And yes, he would go day after day with his axe over his shoulder. He would walk down to that forest and he would chop, 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 chop those trees down. And he would chop into logs and then he would haul them back to his village where there was a castle. And he would sell those logs to the people there, and he would sell them to the castle. And as you know, in these stories, if there is a young man, a poor young man, no, but a strong one, there has to be a princess. Of course, a princess. There was a princess. Oh, and she was such a beautiful princess. Long blonde hair, beautiful eyes. And the princess would sit all day long, just trying to find somebody or something in the world to do. Well, one day the princess was sitting on her windowsill. She was looking out, and then she saw. You know what she saw? She saw that woodcutter bringing in, after a hard day's work, sweat all over his face, his short sleeves would show his muscular body, and he would bring them on. He would bring those logs to the castle. She liked what she saw. That tan. Oh, that sweat all over his face. Oh. And you know, men, that sometimes when beautiful women see each other, see them, they can feel it. So he started searching, and boom, those two eyes met. Oh, and do you know what happened? They immediately fell in love. The girl ran out of the palace to meet her beloved. The woodcutter put down his logs and went up. Oh, he saw a well. He ran to the well. He got himself a little bit fresher. And then he ran. Oh, my love. Oh, my prince. No, no, you're not a prince. You're a woodcutter. But that's okay, my beloved, said the princess. I cannot have anybody else, but I do not have anything to offer you. But will you marry me? Oh, yes, I will, said the princess. But at that moment, who would come? But the father. Stop! How dare you? Everybody has been asking for the hand of my daughter, but nobody can do that. If you want to marry my daughter, you have to go and bring me back the devil's 3 golden hairs. The princess was devastated. Ah, the 3 golden hairs of the devil? No, father! That's what you said to the last one. And he never came back. The princess looked at the woodcutter looked at the princess, and they knew that they had to be together. So the woodcutter looked at the father and said, "Very well, I will go. If I have to make my way to heaven through hell, I will go." "You will wait for me," he said to the princess. "Oh, I'll wait for you," said the princess. And the father said, "Yeah, we'll be waiting." Yeah, and because that's the way he got rid of those men. So the woodcutter left all his things, went to his house, packed his things, threw them on his shoulder, and started his quest. And he walked 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 until he came to the first village. And outside the first village was a huge wall. And in the huge wall, there was a gate. And in the gate was a soldier who would say, "Stop! What's your business?" And what do you know? Oh, well, me, I'm going to find the devil's 3 golden hairs. And what do I know? I know everything, said the woodcutter. That's a good idea. That's very good. You see, my village has a problem. You see, we have this big well where the freshest and cleanest, most purest water would come up, but water isn't coming out. We don't know what's happened. Do you possibly have a solution? I know everything. But wait until I come back. I'm going to go to the devil, bring back the hairs, and I'll help you with your problem. He went through the village, saw the well, went out the other side, and walk, all the way to a second village. And in the second village, there was a wall, there was a gate, there was a soldier who said, "Stop! What's your business?" And what do you know? "I am going to hell to find the 3 golden pillars of the devil, and me, I know everything," said the woodcutter. "You know everything. Well, that's good to know. Because we have a problem here in our village. In the center of our village, there's a beautiful tree who would give us golden, delicious apples. But, they're gone. We don't know what happened, and the tree is dying. The leaves are all brown, and there's no more apples. People will starve." "Ha! That's easy," said the woodcutter. "I'm gonna go down to hell, and then when I come back, I'll give you the answer." "Thank you, sir. Well, go on ahead." And he went through the village, saw the tree, went out the other way, and then he walked. He was walking a long time until he found a river. And he was about to jump in and swim across. It was a pretty wide river. When here came a man, a very old man, who was rowing a ferry. He got to where the woodcutter was. The woodcutter jumped in, looked at the man very curiously. And then the man started to row very slowly across the river. The man looked at the young woodcutter and said, "You're going on a quest." "Yes, I'm going to find the devil's 3 golden hairs. If not, I can't marry my princess. That's the deal." "Well, I wish you the best of luck. A lot of men have passed through here and they've never come back. And say, you wouldn't happen to know things, would you?" "Ha! You're asking the right man. I know everything, said the woodcutter. You do, said the ferryman. You wouldn't happen to know how I can escape this. I have been here for 1,000 years, rowing people across the river to the devil's house, and I cannot leave, said the ferryman. You asked the right man, but don't worry. When I come back, I'll give you the answer. And he jumped out when he reached the other side. The man tipped his hat and he left. And he started to walk a beautiful, smooth, broad path. And he thought, hey, yep, this is the way to hell. And he walked and he walked and he walked and he walked, and there were flowers and bees. It was so beautiful. It was very, very nice to walk down that path until finally he came to a huge golden castle. He looked up and said, yes, this is it. He went up, he knocked. Opened up the gate, and there was a beautiful woman. Oh, and who might you be? Sorry, ma'am. Is this where the devil lives? Yes. But my husband is not here. And so how may I help you? And the woman looked. She liked what she saw. She said, would you like to come in? My husband is not here. He'll be back soon, but I don't think you would like to meet him. He's not a very nice fellow, said the devil's wife. Oh, don't worry. I'm here to collect his 3 golden hairs so that I can go back to my princess and marry her. Oof, I don't know if that's going to happen. The devil doesn't really like people, and especially he doesn't really like getting his hairs plucked. Well, ma'am, I'm sure we can arrange something. The woman genuinely liked him. She really did. He thought he was a good man. He shouldn't deserve being in hell. So she decided to help him. He's like, okay. Come into the living and hide behind this couch. But don't move, huh? She said. So the woodcutter went back behind the couch, shrunk down, and waited. Row! All of a sudden, there was a great noise. Oh, it's my husband! Are you ready? Yes, said the woodcutter. Where's my dinner, woman? Said the devil. Don't you remember that you just fired the cook last night? And why aren't you cooking for me, woman? You really want me to cook for you? And the devil looked at his wife, who was a beautiful woman, but terrible cooking. No. That's okay. That's fine. We'll find somebody else. I am tired. I did some great things today. Just came back from Ireland. Brought me back some beer. Oh, Irish beer. That's wonderful. It's so delicious. Why don't you have a nice pint right now? And off she went, got pint, went back and grabbed the first beer that the devil brought, opened the bottle and gave it to her husband. Go on, drink. Down it went. And good Irish beer is very, very strong. And to drink it so quickly without eating anything, well, he probably knew what happened. Said the devil. He scratched his head. I think I'm going to sleep. Snoring. The wife, very, very subtly, started to look on his head. Oh, and plucked it out. Ay, woman! What are you doing? Oh, husband, I'm so sorry. I didn't do this. Oh my gosh. It's just that I had this most terrible dream. I was in a village where there was a huge well. Was it a well? Yes. It was a huge well. Oh my gosh, and I don't know what happened. But the water's just not coming out. Do you know what happened, honey? I was falling in the well and I grabbed your hair and I must have plucked it out. I'm so sorry. Said the devil. Oh, so you saw my trick, huh? Yeah, I did that a couple months ago. Yeah. You see, down in the well, I hit a poisonous toad, covered it up with a stone, and those villagers, they're doing everything, but what they have to do to solve their problem is pick up the stone, kill the toad, and that's it. Oh, you were such a prank, said the wife. Yeah. Oh, well, since you did something so terrible, why don't you have yourself another pint? Off she went, opened the bottle, give him a pint, and you know what happened? Snoring, the devil was. And the wife, what was the second question? It's about the tree. And she started to look on her husband's head, found the second golden hair, plucked it out, and woman! Why are you plucking out my hair? Said the devil. Oh, husband, I'm so sorry. It's just that when you fell asleep, I fell asleep and I had this horrible dream. You see, I was in another village and there was this beautiful tree in the middle of it. And I remember that it had these gorgeous apples, golden apples. And all of a sudden, they disappeared. And the tree was withering away. Oh, what could have happened? Oh, it was probably just a dream. The devil was looking at her amused and said, hey, yeah, that's another one that I pulled off. That was just a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a good one, huh? You see, what I did was I hid a mouse underneath. And why'd you pluck out my hair anyway? Oh, no wonder. It's just that I climbed up the tree and then I fell and then I must have grabbed your hair, but go on. Tell me more. Tell me what you did, honey. You know how much I love your tricks. Yes. Well, I put a mouse underneath the roots and he's gnawing and gnawing and gnawing and gnawing. And soon that tree is going to be dead. Oh, and those villagers, they're going to have a hell of a time. Oh, honey, you're so bad, said the wife. Yes. It's called for a celebration, doesn't it? Oh, yes, of course. Have some more Irish beer. And opened the third bottle, poured it, gave it to her husband. Nothing like Irish beer. Snoring. And the wife, again, very, very stealthily, started to search his head until found it, plucked it off. Oh, you're so bad. What the heck are you doing to me? Oh, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I fell asleep again, and I had this terrible nightmare. You see, I was dreaming that there was a ferryman in this huge river, and he would go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I got so dizzy, and then I he asked me why he was going back and forth. And I just got so scared that I felt like it was going to fall off. And when I fell off, you know that I'm going to run to you, sweetheart, and I was going to grab you. So I must have grabbed your hair. I'm so sorry. That old man. Yeah, he's been there for tens of thousands of years. He just can't remember. Yep. Yeah, I punished him. He wouldn't do something for me, so I punished him then. But you know what? The fool doesn't know that what he needs to do to get out of that ferry is have somebody else grab the oar, and then he can escape. Oh, honey. Oh, you're so bad. Oh, yeah, that's why I called the devil, huh? Oh, yes, 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 of course. You know what I'm going to give you? All right, all right, all right. Open that last bottle. It was a good beer anyway. I want to go back anyway. So she opened the last bottle, gave him his pipe. He drank it all the way, and then he fell asleep. And the wife, very stealthily, put her hand behind that couch where the woodcutter was waiting, and he was listening to the whole conversation, grabbed it, went up. And the wife, who was, with her husband, said, said the woodcutter. And off he went. And he was walking and walking and walking all the way up. And the way to hell is a lot easier than getting out of it. And he was getting up, up and up and up and up, all the way to that river. And there was the ferryman. He said, "Oh, you're back. Oh, well, congratulations to you. You're the first person to come out of hell." "Yes, I am. Not bad, huh?" In he went, and the ferryman started to row his way over to the other side. "So, you got your quest?" "Yes, here they are. My young lady's waiting for me." "That's great. And you have my answer now, right?" "Yes, yes, yes, of course. We're going to just. I really want to get to the other side first." And they did. And when he came out, the woodcutter said, "Look, what you have to do is get the next passenger to grab your oar, and then you will be free, and that person will be stuck." That's, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And the ferryman off he went. The woodcutter grabbed fast to those hairs because it was the way to his beloved's heart, to his beloved's castle. And off he went, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked until he went to that second village. And the guard looked at him and said, "You're back. You're back from the devil. Oh, okay. Congratulations. Did you get it? Did you find what you're looking for?" "Yes. Here they are." "That's wonderful. Now that you're back, can you, you know, tell us the answer?" "Yes, let's go in." So they went to the tree, He said, listen, your problem is not up, but it's down. Underneath, the devil has placed a mouse that is gnawing and gnawing and gnawing and gnawing the roots of that tree. What you have to do is dig it up, kill it, and your tree will be safe. And the villagers all did that. They started digging and digging and digging until they found that mouse, lifted up, chopped his head. And when it did, the tree started to grow new green leaves. It was reviving again. The villagers were ecstatic with joy. And, here came the prime minister, the leader of the village almost. He went and said, well, thank you. This needs a reward. And they gave him a wagon full of gold and treasure. And off they went. And they walked and they walked and they walked and walked until the first village. The guard saw him coming up, saw the wagon, said, you're back. And you've been successful. Yes. Here they are. And now that you're back, hey, can you help us with our little problem? Yes. Let us go to the well. And they walked to the well. He said, listen, your problem is right down there. What you got to do is you got to go down, down, down. Underneath a big rock, you're going to find a large toad. What you got to do is grab it, kill it, and you'll have fresh water. So one of the villagers went down, 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 found the stone, pulled it up, took up the toad, and he went up again quickly, 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 because that water started to rush up, rush up, rush up, all the way up to the well. It was indeed the richest, most purest, cleanest water in the land. The villagers were so happy. They said, we need to give you a reward, but you already have all this gold. You know what you need? Guards. Guards with cannons, guards with guns, cavalry. So they gave it to him. And off they went. And they walked 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 until they reached his village, where there was a palace and the princess who was waiting. Oh, I love it. And the father was also waiting. Oh my gosh, he's back. What am I going to do? Nope, sorry, you cannot marry my daughter. But here are the 3 golden hairs. Nope, I'm sorry, you cannot. And he saw that wagon full of gold and jewels and treasure. And he saw that cavalry and said, well, okay, all right. Yes, a happy moment. You have accomplished a quest that no other man has been able to do. Therefore, you are eligible to marry my daughter. But before you do, I would really like to know, where'd you get all this gold? Now, it's not that the king didn't have any gold. He did, and lots of it. But you know what happens when people have lots and lots and lots of gold? They want more. And greed is a very big temptation. And the woodcutter saw that. He said, yes, yes, of course, I know. What you got to do is you got to walk past 2 villages, and you're going to get to a river. On that river, there's a ferryman. You help that ferryman, and you will get your riches. And the next day, the princess and the woodcutter were married. And after the marriage, the father went. He went past those villages, and he found the ferryman. And until this day, They are still waiting for him to come back. The woodcutter and the princess, well, they did live happily ever after. At least that's what his great 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 granddaughter told me when she told me this story. But she also said something. She said, "In life, I learned this from my great 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 grandfather. First, never give up. Second, tell everyone you know the answers. And thirdly, never have greed in your heart because that never ends well." And that is my story.